Elena, you're nothing but the family disgrace. Her father's voice thundered through the opulent boardroom, shattering the silence like glass underfoot. She stood frozen, the weight of his words crashing over her as board members averted their eyes, the air thick with unspoken judgment. But in that moment, Elena's gaze drifted to the window, where the New York skyline whispered promises of a life beyond this cage. And that's when she decided she would claim it all. Elena Harrington had always known the sting of expectations. Born into the glittering yet suffocating world of Harrington Enterprises, a sprawling media conglomerate headquartered in the heart of Manhattan, she was the heir apparent, or so everyone assumed until her truth emerged. At 28, Elena was sharp-witted, with raven hair that fell in waves and eyes like polished obsidian, reflecting a soul that burned with quiet defiance. Her father, Reginald Harrington, a titan of industry with a silver mane and a voice that commanded rooms, had built the empire from a single newspaper in the 1980s to a digital behemoth controlling news outlets, streaming services, and social media platforms. But to him, Elena's revelation at 22, that she was a lesbian, was not just a personal matter, it was a betrayal of the family legacy. The hook of that boardroom confrontation lingered in Elena's mind as she stormed out of the towering glass skyscraper on Fifth Avenue. Rain slicked the sidewalks, mirroring the chaos in her heart. She hailed a cab, her designer coat soaked, and directed the driver to Brooklyn, where the pulse of the city felt more alive, less scripted. There, in a cozy brownstone apartment, waited Sinla Torres, the woman who had become her anchor in this storm. Sinla was everything Elena's world wasn't: vibrant, unapologetic, with sun-kissed skin from her Puerto Rican roots and curly auburn hair that danced like flames. At 30, she ran a small nonprofit in Williamsburg, advocating for LGBTQ+ youth in underserved communities. They had met 2 years ago at a charity gala, where Elena, dressed in a sleek black gown, had been cornered by investors droning on about mergers. Sinla, in a bold red dress that turned heads, had sidled up with a glass of champagne and whispered, "You look like you need a rescue. Care to dance with a stranger?" That dance had led to late-night talks in Central Park, stolen kisses under the Brooklyn Bridge, and a love that bloomed against the odds. But now, as Elena burst through the door, tears mingling with rain, Sinla pulled her into an embrace. "What happened, mi amor?" she asked, her voice a soothing melody with a faint accent that always calmed Elena's frayed nerves. Elena collapsed onto the worn leather couch, recounting the boardroom horror. Reginald had called an emergency meeting to discuss succession. With his health failing, whispers of heart issues circulating, he had publicly declared Elena unfit, citing her lifestyle choices as a liability in their conservative investor circles. "He said I'd tarnish the family name," Elena choked out. "That I'm the disgrace who'll never lead." Sinla's eyes flashed with anger, but she held Elena tighter. "He's wrong. You're brilliant, Elena. You've got ideas that could revolutionize the company, making it inclusive, ethical. Don't let his bigotry define you." As the night wore on, they talked strategy over takeout from their favorite Thai spot on Bedford Avenue. Elena had always been the visionary behind the scenes, pushing for diverse content and digital innovation. But Reginald favored her younger brother Marcus, a straight-laced MBA graduate who parroted their father's outdated views. Marcus, at 25, was charming but spineless, more interested in golf outings with clients than actual leadership. The drama escalated the next morning when Elena's phone buzzed with a text from her best friend, Sophia, a journalist at one of Harrington's outlets. "Check the headlines. Your dad's interview just dropped." Elena's heart sank as she pulled up the New York Times app. "Reginald Harrington on Succession. My daughter's choices disqualify her." The article was brutal, quoting Reginald's words verbatim. Social media erupted, some in outrage, others in cruel agreement. Elena felt exposed, raw. But amid the noise, Sinla suggested they fight back. "Let's build something of our own," she said. "Your ideas, my community connections. We could start a platform for underrepresented voices." Elena hesitated. Leaving the family empire meant risking everything: financial security, her identity tied to the name. Yet, as they walked hand in hand through Prospect Park, leaves crunching underfoot in the crisp autumn air, Elena felt a spark. This could be their beginning. Weeks turned into months of quiet rebellion. Elena moonlighted on a side project, an app called Echo Voices, designed to amplify LGBTQ+ stories in media. Senla's nonprofit provided the content, while Elena coded late into the night, her laptop glowing in their dimly lit kitchen. Funding came from small donors, but traction grew. Downloads spiked after a viral post from a trans teen sharing their story. Tension brewed at home. Reginald summoned Elena to his Upper East Side penthouse, where crystal chandeliers cast judgmental shadows. "What is this nonsense?" he barked, slamming a printout of Echo Voice's metrics on the mahogany table. "You're undermining our brand." "It's not undermining," Elena retorted, her voice steady for the first time. "It's evolving. The world is changing, Dad. Inclusion isn't a choice, it's survival." He scoffed, his face reddening. "You'll never amount to anything without this family. Mark my words." As Elena left, a seed of doubt planted, but Senla's unwavering support uprooted it. Their love deepened in stolen moments. A picnic in the Hamptons, whispering dreams under starlit skies. Senla shared her own scars. Growing up in a conservative family in San Juan, disowned at 18 for coming out. "We rise together," she vowed. But cracks appeared. Marcus, sensing opportunity, began sabotaging Elena's efforts at work, leaking her ideas to competitors. One evening, Elena discovered an email chain where he mocked her relationship with Senla. Betrayal burned hot. In a moment of vulnerability, Elena confided in Senla, who urged confrontation. "Family isn't blood. It's who stands by you." Their bond, forged in fire, became Elena's strength. As winter blanketed the city in snow, Echo Voices hit a milestone. Partnership offers poured in. Elena stood at a crossroads, her heart torn between legacy and love. The new year brought fresh storms to Elena's world. Harrington Enterprises teetered on the edge of a scandal when an internal audit revealed financial irregularities. Funds siphoned to offshore accounts. Whispers pointed to Marcus, whose lavish lifestyle raised eyebrows. Reginald, confined to his penthouse with worsening health, refused to believe it. "My son would never," he growled during a tense family dinner at their estate in Connecticut, the table laden with untouched lobster and fine wine. Elena, seated across from him, bit her tongue. She had evidence, emails she'd uncovered while reviewing company servers, but revealing it meant igniting a war. Senla, by her side for the first time at a family event, squeezed her hand under the table. "You don't have to protect him," she murmured later, as they drove back to Brooklyn under a canopy of stars. The drive was silent at first, the hum of the FDR Drive a backdrop to Elena's turmoil. "If I expose Marcus, Dad will never forgive me," she admitted. "But if I don't, the company crumbles." Senla turned, her eyes gleaming in the dashboard light. "Love, this isn't just about the empire. It's about justice. You've been the scapegoat long enough." Their conversation spilled into the night, evolving into plans. Elena decided to meet with the board privately, presenting her findings. But betrayal lurked closer than she knew. Sophia, her supposed ally, had been feeding information to Marcus, swayed by promises of a promotion. The revelation came via an anonymous tip. A screenshot of Sophia's texts mocking Elena's little side hustle. Heartbroken, Elena confronted her at a bustling coffee shop in Soho, steam rising from lattes like unspoken accusations. "How could you?" Elena demanded, voice cracking. Sophia shrugged, unrepentant. "Business is business, Elena. Your dad's right. You're too soft for this world." The pain cut deep, echoing her father's words. That night, Senla held her as sobs racked her body. "Not everyone deserves your trust," Senla whispered, planting soft kisses on her forehead. Their intimacy was tender, a sanctuary amid chaos, sharing dreams of a future where they built something unbreakable. Motivated by the hurt, Elena pushed forward. Echo Voices exploded in popularity after a feature on NPR, drawing investors eager for ethical media. One, a venture capitalist from Silicon Valley named Victoria Lang, flew in for a meeting at a trendy rooftop bar overlooking the Hudson. "Your vision aligns with the future," Victoria said, toasting with sparkling water. "Let's scale this." As partnerships formed, Reginald's health deteriorated. A heart attack landed him in Mount Sinai Hospital, tubes snaking across his frail form. Elena visited, the sterile room a stark contrast to his former grandeur. "Why fight me?" she asked softly. His eyes, dimmed but sharp, met hers. I wanted strength. You chose weakness. The word stung, but Elena stood tall. Love isn't weakness, Dad. It's my power. Leaving the hospital, she found Senla waiting in the lobby, a bouquet of lilies in hand. For you, Senla said, pulling her into a hug. Their love, once hidden, now bloomed openly, drawing stares but also quiet admiration from passers-by. Drama peaked when Marcus, cornered by the audit, attempted a desperate ploy, framing Elena for the embezzlement. Forged documents surfaced, accusing her of diverting funds to echo voices. The board called an emergency session in the same room where it all began. Elena arrived prepared, Senla by her side for moral support in the lobby. Presenting irrefutable proof, timestamps, IP logs, she dismantled Marcus's lies. Gasps echoed as the truth unfolded. Marcus had been skimming for years to fund his addictions. Reginald, dialing in from his hospital bed, listened in silence. When Elena finished, his voice cracked. I was wrong. The board voted. Marcus out, Elena interim CEO. Victory tasted bittersweet as she left the building, the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. That evening, celebrating with Senla at their favorite Italian spot in Little Italy, pasta twirling on forks, they toasted to new beginnings. We did it, Elena said, her hand entwined with Senla's. But shadows lingered. Victoria, the investor, began flirting subtly with Senla during meetings, planting seeds of jealousy. Senla laughed it off, but Elena's insecurities festered, remnants of her father's disdain. One night, after a heated argument over work-life balance, Elena buried in CEO duties, neglecting their time together. Senla stormed out. I need space, she said, slamming the door. Elena sat alone in the dim apartment, heart aching. Was this the cost of her triumph? Days blurred into a haze of board meetings and strategy sessions. Harrington Enterprises, under Elena's helm, pivoted toward inclusivity, launching pride campaigns, diversifying hiring. Stock prices soared, vindicating her vision. Yet, personal turmoil brewed. Senla returned, but tension simmered. A business trip to LA tested them. Victoria invited Senla along for networking. Elena's trust wavered. Upon return, Senla confessed. Nothing happened, but I felt seen in a way. You haven't lately. The words pierced. They talked through the night, tears flowing, rebuilding bridges. You're my everything, Elena vowed. Their reconciliation was raw, emotional, sealing their bond stronger. As spring thawed the city, Reginald's condition worsened. In his final days, he summoned Elena. I'm proud, he whispered, gripping her hand. Lead with your heart. His passing was peaceful, the funeral a media spectacle at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Elena, in black, stood resolute, Senla her silent strength. In the will reading, shocks awaited. Reginald left the majority stake to Elena with a note. You were never a disgrace. Forgive an old fool. Tears streamed as she embraced Senla. The empire was hers, not through seizure but redemption. With the reins of Harrington Enterprises firmly in her grasp, Elena dove into transformation. The Manhattan headquarters buzzed with change. Rainbow flags in the lobby, sensitivity training for staff, and a new division for diverse storytelling. Echo Voices merged seamlessly, becoming the company's flagship app, with Senla appointed as head of community outreach. Their partnership, professional and personal, symbolized hope for many. But success bred envy. Marcus, disgraced and disinherited, vanished to the West Coast, but not before vowing revenge in a drunken voicemail. You'll regret this, sister. Elena dismissed it as bluster, focusing on growth. Life with Senla flourished in subtle ways. A weekend getaway to the Finger Lakes, where they hiked misty trails and shared wine by campfires, reaffirming their love. We've come so far, Senla mused, her head on Elena's shoulder as stars wheeled overhead. Yet undercurrents of drama stirred. Victoria Lang, now a board member, pushed aggressive expansions that clashed with Elena's ethical stance. During a heated debate in the conference room, overlooking Central Park's verdant sprawl, Victoria sneered, "Sentimentality won't build empires." Elena held firm. Empires built on exclusion crumble. The exchange left tensions high. Personal conflicts arose when Senla's ex, Carla, a fiery activist from her San Juan days, reappeared. Carla, now in New York for a conference, reached out, igniting old flames of nostalgia. Sinla met her for coffee, innocent but undisclosed, fueling Elena's paranoia. Discovering the meeting via a shared calendar mishap, Elena confronted Sinla in their apartment, the city lights twinkling mockingly outside. Why hide it? Elena demanded, voice trembling. Sinla sighed. It was nothing. Just closure. You're the one I choose every day. The argument escalated, words like daggers. Maybe I'm not enough, Elena lashed out, echoing her father's ghosts. Sinla pulled her close. You are. Let's not let fear win. They reconciled with apologies and promises, their love a resilient thread. As summer sweltered the streets, a crisis hit. A data breach at Harrington, leaking user info from Echo Voices. Headlines screamed Harrington hack, LGBTQ+ users exposed. Panic ensued, threats to outed individuals, lawsuits looming. Elena suspected sabotage. Investigations pointed to Marcus, hired hackers from LA. The betrayal was visceral. Family ties severed forever. In the eye of the storm, Elena addressed a press conference at the UN Plaza, cameras flashing. We stand with our community. This attack won't silence us. Sinla stood beside her, a united front. Behind closed doors, exhaustion weighed. Sinla nursed Elena through sleepless nights, their bond tested but unbroken. We're in this together, Sinla affirmed. Resolution came when FBI agents arrested Marcus in a raid. Evidence irrefutable. Justice served but scars remained. With the breach contained, Harrington rebounded stronger, implementing top-tier security. Elena's leadership earned accolades, a Forbes cover. The heir who healed an empire. Romance deepened amid recovery. On their anniversary, Elena surprised Sinla with a rooftop dinner at the Standard, the East River shimmering below. Marry me, Elena proposed, a diamond ring glinting. Sinla's yes was tearful, joyful. Wedding plans unfolded. An intimate ceremony in the Hamptons, blending cultures with Puerto Rican rhythms and American elegance. But fate twisted. Sinla's health faltered. Routine checkups revealed a lump. Breast cancer stage 2. The diagnosis shattered their world. Elena put the company on autopilot, dedicating herself to Sinla's side through chemo sessions at Memorial Sloan Kettering. Bald but beautiful, Sinla joked. I rock this look. Masking fear. Emotional depths plunged. Elena grappled with helplessness, nights spent researching trials, holding Sinla as nausea racked her. Their love shone brightest in vulnerability. You gave me purpose, Sinla whispered during a quiet moment in their sunlit bedroom. Community rallied, fundraisers via Echo Voices, support from LGBTQ+ groups. Victoria redeemed, donated generously. As fall painted the city in golds, Sinla entered remission. The wedding proceeded, a celebration of life. Vows exchanged under a floral arch, overlooking the ocean. In sickness and health, you're my forever. Honeymoon in Hawaii brought peace, waves crashing, hands intertwined. Back in New York, they adopted a rescue dog, symbolizing new beginnings. Elena's reflection on her journey. From disgrace to icon, Reginald's legacy evolved, humanized through her lens. Yet whispers of more challenges loomed. A rival media mogul eyeing takeover. Elena geared up, Sinla her unwavering partner. Their story, woven with drama and heart, inspired many. In boardrooms and bedrooms, love conquered. The takeover threat materialized swiftly. Tech billionaire Xander Voss, a Silicon Valley shark with a reputation for ruthless acquisitions, set his sights on Harrington Enterprises. His offer? A hostile bid, undervaluing the company but promising efficiency. Elena saw through it. Voss aimed to strip the inclusive core, turning it into a data mining machine. The boardroom became a battlefield. Elena rallied allies, presenting a counter-strategy. Organic growth through partnerships. Victoria, now an unlikely confidant, backed her. We've built something meaningful, she said. Amid corporate warfare, personal harmony prevailed. Sinla, post-remission, threw herself into advocacy, speaking at TEDx events about resilience. Their home life was a haven, cooking Puerto Rican mofongo, dancing to salsa in the kitchen. But drama resurfaced when Carla, Sinla's ex, published a memoir hinting at unresolved feelings. Tabloids twisted it. Sinla's secret past threatens Harrington heir's marriage. Paparazzi hounded them, flashing bulbs outside their brownstone. Elena felt the old insecurities bubble. Is there truth to it? She asked one evening, wine glass trembling. Senla cupped her face. No, mi vida. That chapter closed long ago. You're my story now. Reassured, they issued a joint statement. Our love stands strong against rumors. Public support surged, turning scandal into solidarity. Voss escalated, leaking false reports of Elena's mismanagement. Stock dipped. Investors wavered. In a pivotal shareholder meeting at the Javits Center, Elena took the stage, her voice echoing. Harrington isn't just profit, it's people. Vote for heart over greed. Senla watched from the front row, pride swelling. The vote swung in Elena's favor, Voss retreating. Victory cemented Elena's legacy. Awards followed. Glad honors for media representation. She and Senla graced red carpets, hands linked, inspiring queer youth. Human elements deepened their narrative. Elena mentored a young intern, Mia, who reminded her of her younger self, struggling with identity in a corporate world. Be unapologetic, Elena advised over coffee in Bryant Park. Senla expanded her nonprofit, opening centers in Chicago and LA. Their travels together, advocacy tours strengthened bonds, from rallies in DC to quiet retreats in the Rockies. A poignant moment. Visiting Reginald's grave in Woodlawn Cemetery. Elena placed flowers, whispering, I forgive you. Senla held her, a circle closed. As years blurred, they considered family. Adoption discussions led to welcoming a foster teen, Alex, non-binary and fierce. Parenting brought joy and chaos. Family dinners debating politics, movie nights with popcorn fights. Conflicts arose naturally, work demands straining time. One argument over Elena's late hours ended in tears. I miss us, Senla confessed. Elena reprioritized, delegating more. Balance restored, their love matured. Less fireworks, more steady flame. A twist. Marcus resurfaced, sober and reformed, seeking amends in a coffee shop rendezvous. I was jealous, he admitted. You deserved it all. Elena extended olive branch. Cautious reconciliation. Family fractured, began mending. In a romantic gesture, they renewed vows on their 5th anniversary, barefoot on a Malibu beach. Through storms, you're my calm, Elena said. Their story, rich in emotion, exemplified perseverance. From disgrace to dynasty, love as the ultimate redeemer. As Elena looked to the future, expanding globally, championing rights, she knew this was her empire built on heart. Decades later, Elena Harrington Torres sat in her corner office, the New York skyline a familiar companion. At 58, silver threads wove through her hair, but her eyes retained that defiant spark. Harrington Enterprises had evolved into a global force for good, with Echo Voices a household name for authentic storytelling. Senla, beside her at 60, her curls now a soft halo, led international advocacy, their partnership legendary. Reflecting on their journey, Elena often shared in interviews, love isn't a footnote, it's the headline. Their marriage, a beacon, had weathered more storms. One final drama unfolded when Alex, now 25 and a rising journalist, uncovered corporate espionage within Harrington. A mole selling secrets to Voss's remnants. The betrayal hit home. The culprit was Mia, the once mentored intern, driven by resentment over past promotions. Confrontation in the boardroom echoed Elena's past. Why? Elena asked, hurt evident. Mia spat. You preach inclusion but play favorites. The pain was acute, but Elena chose mercy, firing her with severance, urging therapy. We all deserve second chances, she told Senla later. Over tea in their penthouse overlooking Central Park. Marcus, now a consultant for the company, supported the decision. Family dinners became regular, healing old wounds. As retirement loomed, Elena groomed Alex as successor. Lead with empathy, she advised during walks in the park, leaves rustling like whispers of the past. Senla's health scare returned, a recurrence, but early detection and treatment prevailed. Through it, their bond unbreakable. Holding hands in waiting rooms, laughing at bad hospital food. In a human climax, they established the Harrington Torres Foundation, funding LGBTQ+ initiatives worldwide. Launch gala at the Met. Celebrities, activists, toasts to resilience. Ketuk Nanvan arrived softly. On a quiet evening watching sunset from their Hamptons home, Elena turned to Senla. We built more than an empire, we built a life. Senla smiled. And what a story it is. Their legacy. Not just success but the message that love in all forms triumphs. From disgrace to grace, they proved humanity's capacity for change. In the end, the company thrived under Alex, but Elena and Senla's true inheritance was the hearts they touched. A testament to drama turned to depth, betrayal to bonds, and romance to enduring humanity.